Okay. This is Tasha the Crafty Kraut. I'm going to show you how to feed your starter. All right, so you're going to have two mason jars. So this one stays in my refrigerator. This is starter discard, which is basically just your starter, but it's what you're going to throw away. And I don't throw it away because you can make sourdough, discard muffins, cinnamon rolls, bagels. You're actually going to use that for your bread until you get used to making your bread with that, and then you can start using active starter like I do. But so here's the discard, and mine's in the refrigerator, and mine's pretty thick, and you're going to have to burp this kind of every day and mix it. And sometimes there might be some liquid on top that's called hooch. Just mix it in. But if you mix it every day, you shouldn't have that. So anyways, so this is my discard, and this is my starter. And I fed this last night because I already have some bread made, or I have some bread going. So what I need is, let me see how much we got here. All right, so my glass weighs about 619, and this is 750, so I have over 100 and something grams of starter. So I'm going to discard this starter. I need about 25 grams of starter, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to feed my 25 grams of starter 25 grams of flour and 25 grams of water. And this flour is a mixture of bread flour and wheat flour. So what you're going to do is you're going to discard all your starter that you don't need. And mine's really thick right now because it was just at its peak. So it'll get a little liquidier when it's hungry. So I don't need much of this. I only need 25 grams. So I'm going to put all my discard in here. And let's see how much that is. 6, 19. That's pretty close. All right. I'll take a little tiny bit more out. Maybe a little tiny. Still the same amount. Okay. So, this has to be very clean, so make sure you don't use dirty hands or anything, because if you see mold or anything, and the only way you can really kill your starter is if you see mold or something in it, so just keep an eye on it. But if you keep it closed and clean, you should be good. So this is my discard. So this is going to go back in the refrigerator, and this isn't going to grow. So that you're going to put back in the refrigerator, and this is actually what you're going to use to make your bread. But anyway, so now we're going to feed this. So I have we're going to say I have 25 grams of, let's just do 25. Let's do, I probably have like 35. So you want a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio. About a 1-to-1-to-1 ratio. So I'm going to do 35. I'm going to say I had about 35 grams of starter in there, and I'm going to put about 35 grams of water, and you're going to do 35 grams of flour. This keeps still. You want about 35 grams of flour. All right, that's pretty good. Close that up. Okay. And so I'm going to take it off your scale to mix. I don't know if you can see in this. But you see it's kind of thick. That's a little too thick, so I'm going to use just a little bit more water to water it. Oops, that was too much. You want it kind of a thick pancakey texture. I think I added a little too much water, but that's fine. I'll just add a little more flour. And you want to really kind of mix it pretty hard. You want to make sure you got all the little bits of flour are incorporated, so it will grow. All right, so I don't like that texture. I think it needs to be a little thicker, so I'm going to add a little more flour. I shouldn't say that. All right. That's pretty good. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So these little spatulas are kind of like spoons are pretty helpful too. But anyway, so now that I have my texture that I want, so it's about like that, about pancake consistency. I could add a little more flour, but it's fine. Okay, and now what I do is I try to really clean off my my edges, because this stuff gets really hard and really crunchy, and you can't get it off of anything. And you also do not want to put this down. If you rinse out your utensils down the sink, you got to make sure you really run your water down it, because you don't want to do anything bad to your pipes. All right, so it's pretty good. So I kind of clean it up like that, and then I get a wet paper towel. Okay, so I get a wet paper towel and I clean it off here. And every so often you can change out your jars just for a cleaner one. I try to keep it pretty clean so I don't have to do that often. I'll just kind of go down and clean it. All right. Doesn't have to be perfect. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to, see, that was last night. I fed it and I marked it. So now I'm going to clean that off. And you can literally just write on these, and it comes right off with water. So now what I like to do is I like to just mark it. And then I usually put the time. Yeah, I usually like it a little thicker than that, but it'll just grow faster. But anyway, so now you'll watch it and it'll grow. It's pretty cool. So it takes a while to do that. So we're going to put that aside. Put it over. So I'll just leave that here, and then I leave this here. Now in the wintertime, I put it on a, where I wrap it up in a seeding mat, a seeding mat that you use to grow seeds, just so it will keep it warm. But if you have a spot above your refrigerator, that would be a great place, but I don't, because mine's built in. But anyway, so there you go. Hope that helps. Also, you're going to feed this every day. If you don't want to feed it every day, then you need to put it in the refrigerator, and then you'll have to, well, it doesn't matter if you're going to use an active starter. So you're going to feed it every day. And if you have too much discard, I mean, you can just stick this in the refrigerator, and then before you need to make more, just take it out and make a big batch of discard. There's really a lot of options. You really can't kill it unless there's mold in it. If it ever has liquid on top, that's called hooch. Just mix it up. What else? When it rises, you'll notice when it rises, it will kind of have like a dome on it. That's your peak. When it has that dome on it, it's kind of your peak. You want to get, that's really when you start cooking with it. When, like what I did, I had fed it last night before bed, but I feed it a different ratio so it doesn't grow as fast. So it's overnight so I can sleep. But so I do like a 1 to 3 to 3 ratio. So 1 part starter to 3 parts water to 3 parts flour. If that makes sense. So like 75 grams of flour, 75 grams of water, and 25 grams of starter. And then that usually will take it it won't grow as fast. It won't eat the wheat as fast. So it allows me a 12-hour night. But anyways, so yeah, I think I covered everything. You want this to be half bread flour, half whole wheat. You can use half rye, but you want some kind of wheat because wheat has more nutrition in it. So it has better food for the yeast to grow. And then there are my 2 breads I have going right now.